Heck of a start to week 5 in the NFL. The San Francisco 49ers upset the Los Angeles Rams overtime thriller on Thursday night, and some really big ones, including Bucks Seahawks featuring throwback uniforms, Eagles Broncos, and a whole lot more. We're making picks for the rest of week 5 on today's Peacock and Williamson.
NFL analyst Brian Peacock and former NFL scout Matt Williamson bring you expert NFL analysis every day in less than 30 minutes. Get an inside look at the NFL on the field and in the front office with elite breakdowns to next-level analysis and in-depth information only for the real NFL fans. This is Peacock and Williamson, and it starts now.
Welcome to the Peacock and Williamson NFL Show. Brian Peacock alongside Matt Williamson at BD Peacock at Williamson NFL. Thanks, everybody, for making us your first listen on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Love and appreciate all the everydayers. Thanks for hanging with us through 4 weeks, now into week 5, passing the quarter pole of the season. And we're going to preview some of those games that are coming up this weekend. And there's some good ones out there. And we already started with a good one. Today's episode of Peacock and Williamson brought to you by Mazda. Like the players on the field, Mazda sweats every detail because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected is only the beginning. Stay tuned later for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward. At Mazda, move and be moved. Wow. I mean, you might have had to stay up a little later over there on the East Coast, but I was up a little later. We had to wait for overtime and do a little post-game podcast, but it was a really fun one and bit of a shocker, definitely a thriller. Overtime, the San Francisco 49ers, a banged-up, undermanned 49ers, on a short week, go to LA and defeat the Los Angeles Rams 26-23, and it ends with the big defensive stop of Kyren Williams. There were so many big plays in this game, and you got the feeling that, man, even after a hot start for the 49ers, Matthew Stafford started to get a little bit warm and a little bit warmer. And they're finding ways to throw the ball down the field and kind of abandon a run for a lot of the game. It was just all on Stafford dropping back and picking the 49ers apart. And it was like, oh, man, the 49ers still just don't have quite enough to stop this. And then there was the couple of kicks went awry for the Los Angeles Rams, and then the huge fumble from Kyren Williams, who was about to roll into the end zone, essentially, and the Niners take the ball back on the 2-yard line to go the other way. Was a really massive play, and the 49ers were able to hang on. And when we previewed this game, I talked about how these coaches are familiar, these teams are familiar. It's a short week for the Rams, too, so Thursday nighters are just kind of can be weird games. And if the underdog is going to win, and remember, it was 8.5 points that the 49ers were underdog, which is one of the bigger lines of the week, second biggest line of the week. And if the underdog is going to win in a game like this, usually the ball bounces funny. Niners did win the turnover battle. Special teams, you got to win in the margins, win the third phase. The 49ers did, despite the opening kickoff, the dirty ball kick looking a little weird for the 49ers. They hit the kicks, and the 49ers were able to come out of this one in overtime and defeat the Rams 26-23, and just a huge win. One of the best wins, I think, in Kyle Shanahan's regular season time as a coach for the 49ers, because nobody gave him a shot. I didn't give, 8.5 was a little much, and I took the points on this game just because of some of those reasons. But man, it was 8.5 points for a reason. The 49ers were really undermanned, and to see the backups and Mac Jones play as well as he did, and you got to commend Kyle Shanahan for the game plan, especially with how they came out.
Yeah, before we really dig into what all happened, and you laid out a ton there, it was great. 2 things I do want to bring up is, what'd you call it? The dirty ball kickoff, the dirty ball kickoff.
It's like
knuckleball
sideways. It's I wouldn't say it's knuckling. It's just not end over end. It's more It's more like bowling. Because you know how when you bowl and you get the side spin going, the ball kind of goes straight and it starts to slow down and then it catches and then goes the other way. That's what this kind of is, because it's kind of spinning in a funny way. Then when it hits the ground, you don't know where it's going to go.
And Carolina does some funky stuff. That's why I wanted to bring that up first, just because I want to throw it out there. I bet these kickers are really starting to get creative with this kickoff stuff. I think it's going to be fun. There's going to be a wide variety of pitches, coming from these kickers. And side note, the Rams just keep getting kicks blocked all year. I mean, like, what's going on with these guys?
Another block. There was a miss as well. There's a number of things that the Rams are probably kicking themselves because they could have come back and won this football game, even though they got into a little bit of a hole early. And they weren't able to do that. And the 49ers were able to hold on and not turn the ball over. And they did a pretty good job of protecting Mac Jones. He was sacked only one time in this game, obviously getting the ball out early. And it took the Rams a long time to kind of realize that, okay, we got to just stop the short stuff and dare him to throw some deeper stuff. And then maybe that'll give us an opportunity to get home and get to the quarterback. But it was kind of too late on that. I honestly didn't love the game plan for the Rams. They kind of played not to lose instead of playing aggressively on defense and let Kyle Shanahan and Mac Jones pick them apart.
And you're right. It is a massive win just in the standings, long week to get healthy, all that stuff. I mean, a game that I know you picked them right, but you said things like, I might just play all my backups. I mean, just sit everybody and punt this game. You know what I mean? We got no chance, just get healthy for next week. You got the best of both worlds. I mean, it's phenomenal. I was really impressed with Mac Jones, just his efficiency, his ability to read a defense, get it out, all the things that you liked his rookie year and made him a first-round pick. We know he doesn't look like Josh Allen. He doesn't look like Lamar, but he's a different style that fits this well. And I was blown away by the Niners start. I mean, so much McCaffrey and then Bourne. I mean, with no receivers, no pass catchers, the tight end and Bourne coming up big over and over and over, and tons of McCaffrey. And to me, that's as big a story as anything, is they just got up on him early, And
it's a great lesson for your team. It's like, next man up. Look, we can go win a football game on a short week against our division rival, and our backups can do it. So when your number is called, and I have really appreciated the mentality of Mac Jones throughout this as a backup coming in, and when he had to start the first time, it was like, well, look, you're only a backup for the first play of the game, and then who knows? So you've got to be ready at all times. And so,
he obviously took a beating too. I mean,
and he was already kind of messed up. I thought we were going to see Adrian Martinez,
I thought for sure
UFL MVP, and but we didn't get that, and I'm kind of glad we didn't get that, because it was better football with Mac Jones out there. So we'll see with Mac Jones sprained PCL, or if it's Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy might be multiple weeks, because he probably shouldn't have been out there last week, and he re-aggravated his turf toe injury, which was like, what are you doing, guys? Putting him out there if he wasn't ready. But that's where the 49ers are, still not out of the woods as far as the injuries go. But, it probably feels a lot better on Friday morning for them to wake up with the win with all those injuries, and then have the extra days off rest to get ready for week 6 and a long break. So huge win in the division for the 49ers that weren't supposed to win this game. And in the end, I put on the, for those watching on YouTube, I put on the background, Shanahan bests McVay. And I came away, it was like, Kyle got him again, and he's got a pretty good record against Sean McVay, and I felt like that the Niners came out, and Robert Saleh part of this as well.
I saw it, yeah.
He did a good job against the run. Those 2 big stops late. Shanahan, I think, did a better job than Sean McVay here, if you really wanted to boil it down to one thing.
I totally agree, especially with the game prep and coming out, and considering the checkers you had at your advantage. The chess pieces weren't the same as the Rams. And we were right a little bit. Like we both said, I just picture Stafford back there patting the ball, just throwing lasers all over the field. And we did see some of that,
Yeah, here comes the wave. And it's like,
right.
No. It was 14-7 at halftime. And then it was like, and then once they tied it up, it's like, man, the Niners, there were times when the 49ers, they would show the zoomed up shot, and the 49ers defensive linemen were just sweating and gassed. And I felt like, oh man, they, valiant effort. Good job, guys. Keeping it close. The Rams are going to go down there, and they were at the 2-yard line with the big fumble. So
I was so proud of myself when I thought I was so smart. Kyron Williams fumbles, and so I live bet the Rams at that point at like plus 400, thinking they'll get a 3 and out, get the ball at midfield, and Stafford will still have time to win. And I was kind of right. Then went to overtime. I'm like, I'm still doing it. I'm hanging in there, and then just couldn't finish.
And there was another big drop from Kyron Williams too, where he might have been able to walk into the end zone. So Kyron Williams had a rough game, even though he was good and he didn't play bad. There was there was the fumble, there was the drop, and then the stop at the end of the game. He probably feels terrible on this Friday morning. And he didn't look like he was happy on the sideline either.
No.
So Niners 4-1, leading
Massive.
the NFC West despite all of the injuries. Mac Jones playing really well. And of course, that's going to cause some controversy amongst 49ers fans. To go back to our conversation from yesterday about having too good of a backup quarterback, it's going to be a curse for teams. But man, it is helpful when you really need that guy to play. Moving on to the rest of Week 5, we're previewing making picks. The team the Niners are going to see next, and we've already seen Bucs and Seahawks, little throwback style in that one with the uniforms as well. Eagles, Broncos, and a whole lot more next. This episode of Peacock and Williamson is brought to you by Square. And Square is all about the neighborhood. There are certain businesses that make the neighborhood, right? These are the places that become an extension of home, whether it's a sports bar dedicated to your team's fan base, the spot where they have the best wings in town, game day spots, right? That beloved local chain that's been rooted in your community for years. These businesses are what bring people together. When neighborhood businesses thrive, the whole neighborhood thrives. And there's a list of businesses here that utilize Square, and it's a good one in the Pittsburgh area. Matt, that, apparently you have visited Wiggle Whiskey Distillery. There we go. Got a little bottle of bourbon. I don't know if that one's been cracked yet. So
not yet. This is a little baby. The City of Champions, straight bourbon here, right? Nice.
I love the bridge on that, City of Champions. And I'm sure there's tons of neighborhood spots everywhere for all these listeners where, it's sports that's bringing the neighborhood together, the old deli that's been there since your grandparents were kids. Square is a proud partner of more than 4 million neighborhood businesses around the world. You can go to square.com/go/LockedOnNFL to learn more. But before you go support your local favorites, your favorite neighborhood spot. You'll be happy you did. Square, see you in the neighborhood. This episode is also brought to you by our friends at Mazda. And Mazda's moving the game forward. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it. There are moments that do more than put points on the board. They move crowds, move culture, and keep moving the game forward. And spotlighting a highlight, I think, Matt, we talked about this before we went on air, highlighting a moment from the Thursday nighter. I think it's the bookend. It's how the 49ers, those scripted plays, started the game, ran down the field as underdogs, and took a big lead to start the game, and the stop to stop the Rams on 4th down, 4th and 1. They couldn't get that 1 yard to end the game. And those were massive moments to move the game forward for and ended the game for the San Francisco 49ers on Thursday night. And when you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to every Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. Okay, let's go to, I think, one of the better games of the weekend. And I know the Broncos are only 2-2 right now, but they feel like they're better than a 2-2 team. And they are on the road at the Philadelphia Eagles, the 4-0 Philadelphia Eagles. And even though the team is 4-0, there's a little bit of turmoil going on. And A.J. Brown with some cryptic tweets, and people are asking him about, how much he's getting the football. And he's clearly not happy about that, but he can't be completely unhappy because they're winning games. But he's talking about how, like, you need me and I need to be a part of this. But then it's also like, well, do they? Because they're still winning games without you, A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
I've got him on my fantasy teams. I got a lot of stock in A.J. Brown, so I'm not a huge fan of him not getting the football. This is more like a head coach needs to keep everybody healthy and happy, I think, on offense. But, man, with the way the Eagles have run the football and the way their offensive line plays, they haven't needed to throw the ball a whole lot in the first 4 weeks of the season. They're favored by 3.5 points against a really tough defense in the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, and I think A.J. Brown's going to get a lot of Surtain this week. So even if he is a squeaky wheel, that might not even work in his favor.
It might not be the week for him this time either.
Right. And I still have great respect for the Eagles O-line, but it hasn't been as dominant. They're not just opening these gaping holes for Saquon. They're allowing a little more pressure. I'm not sure Dickerson should even be out there. And Benito's playing like a defensive MVP type of player. I mean, I think Denver's D really keeps this thing close. And I've been underwhelmed with Nix thus far this year, but I think he's gradually taking a little step each week. So I'll take the points here on the road. Awful spot to play, though.
I felt the same way about Nix, especially last week. It was like, okay, here, it's coming. And he started slow his rookie year too, right?
Very much so. Yeah.
And so, it might be that situation for Bo Nix again. J.K. Dobbins has been awesome. And then
Great.
you get the rookie and RJ Harvey involved too out of the backfield. He's got a little bit more speed. So that's a really nice 1-2. And, a number of receivers is with Courtland Sutton's 1 week. And then it's
Franklin gets involved a lot. And
Franklin another week. And they just missed a big one to Franklin. He can be that. He's probably going to be a high volatility, deep threat in this offense because of his speed and the way he plays. And so you can see it coming around for the Denver Broncos here. I'm still going to take the Eagles because I think they're top to bottom a better football team. And I want to see the Broncos really put it together. So I don't like that half a point, but I do like the Eagles by a little bit. I'm gonna go Eagles by 4 in this one over the Broncos, and the Eagles improve to 5-0. One of only 2 teams that are still unbeaten in the NFL, right?
Yeah, I like the over 3 points from my aspect, but I really don't like any West Coast-ish team going to Philly at 1:00. I mean, that's about the worst thing I can imagine.
Mm-hmm. How about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Seattle Seahawks? And they're both wearing the throwback uniforms. One aspect of the throwbacks is that, it's funny because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and kind of the Seahawks, they changed uniforms originally because the world said those uniforms are hideous. And so right. And then we go back and we realize, you know what? We actually love these creamsicle uniforms. We love the old Seahawks blue and green. And I think it's fascinating how things turn like that and change like that. And with time, all of a sudden, what people were like, oh, this is kind of weird and ugly. You're actually like, you know what? I love it. Like you're the old Pittsburgh Pirates with the tall hat with the stripe.
Yeah.
I kind of like those, right?
It looks like a birthday cake, yeah.
But at the time, people are like, yeah, you know what? We need to move away from this. It's kind of ridiculous.
I mean, these were expansion teams together when I was like 6 years old.
Right. But here's the thing is these teams are good right now. It's 3-1 Bucks at 3-1 Seahawks. And those teams in those old uniforms didn't play well. Those are bad teams in those uniforms too. So that's what's funny. It's like, okay, let's put on the old uniform, but let's play like the new team and not like the old team. That being said, the Seahawks favored by 4.5 at home against the Bucks.
I have great respect for both these teams. I think they're both playoff teams. This might be the first of 2 matchups. Who knows? And the road trip's the total opposite of the one we talked about. I mean, Tampa to Seattle sounds terrible, but it's 405. I just think the number's too big. I mean, I think they're like equal teams. Seattle doesn't dominate at home like people think they do. I just want the points here.
So what are the longest trips you can make? Tampa to Seattle.
I think Miami, Seattle's the only one longer.
Yeah. 4.5 is too much. I agree. I think these teams are too evenly matched. You do get a little bump, but I would say it's a pick 'em. You give 3 points to the home team, so 4.5 is too big of a line here. I think it's going to be a really fun game. I think it's going to be a close game. This game could go in a lot of directions, and I do like how the offense is coming around for the Seattle Seahawks, and I totally believe in their defense.
Darnold's been good.
Yeah. I've got it 905 passing yards, 5-2 touchdown to interception ratio so far for Sam Darnold, and has really started to get better and better as the weeks go along here, approaching week 5. I'm going to take the points, 4.5 points, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers though in this one.
Yep. More and more, I think a lot of my betting woes this year is just not taking points. And last night was a perfect example.
Right. Yep. And even with the world collapsing around you, it's still the NFL, and every game is within 3 points, it feels like.
That's right. I mean, how many one-score games do we see every week? There's a very high percentage.
And you have to think about, okay, so, if who's fielding a competitive team, who's fielding professional football players? And that was one of the things I talked about with the 49ers yesterday. I was like, well, God, Mac Jones is one of the better backups you could probably have in the league. Mm-hmm. And he's throwing 2 professional guys who started at wide receiver, even though they didn't come into the year as starters for the 49ers. You got, you have a professional football team still out there for you. Looking at the Las Vegas Raiders here, who are hosting the Colts, the Raiders are getting closer and closer to looking like a professional football team. And now they're with a left tackle, which could be faster. So I love the Colts in this one, it is in Indy, but they're favored by 6.5. Again, it's a big line. Are the Raiders one of those teams where you need to take the points here in week 5?
I'm going to go against everything I just said and take the Colts. I mean, I think the Colts are really close to being an undefeated team. I think they're really good on both sides of the ball. Raiders just lost Colton Miller. I think the Raiders are a real bottom feeder that's looking like a top 7 or 8 draft pick type of team.
mean, maybe the two biggest winners this year so far, and I might be missing some guys, but the two biggest winners as far as their career and how they're thought of, Daniel Jones and Lou Anarumo.
Good call. I would say Jones is the obvious one,
Yeah,
but yeah, Lou as well.
Was blamed for everything, and he's
Right.
over looking at the Bengals being like, "Good call, guys. You really nailed that one."
Yeah, well, you couldn't use me at all. And
couldn't
by
use
the
me
way, I
at
don't think we've
all.
mentioned enough the season Jonathan Taylor's having too. I mean, is he the best back in the league right now?
He's playing like it. Yeah, 414 yards, is averaging over 100 yards a game through 4 weeks. And the Raiders, I don't know if the Raiders secondary is a problem. Now their offensive line is going to be a problem. Finally getting Ashton Genty going, and then all of a sudden you lose your best offensive lineman. So that's not great for the Raiders' chances here. And can they throw their way out of it if they can't get the running game going again? I like the Colts by 7. I don't want to line again, like you said, but we're going to go against that. And I'm with this one.
They really need Brock Bowers to get healthy too. He does not look close to healthy to me.
Right? Yeah. What can you lean on right now if you're the Raiders? That's
not much.
Part.
Yeah.
The New York Giants at the New Orleans Saints. Good matchup of young quarterbacks here that have played better than expected. I think Spencer Rattler has,
no doubt,
in I think 3 of 4 weeks, the Saints have been in it and within like a score of going down to win the game. Now they can't win any of these games, and so they're 0-4 right now. But they are favored by 2.5 points against the Malik Neighbors list. Jackson Dart led New York Giants in week 4.
Perfect example of just give me points. I think both these teams are a little better than just garbage bottom feeders, and I'm excited about both quarterbacks, but I think they're kind of equal, and they're in some ways better than I thought, but I'll take points.
I'm with you. I felt the exact same way about it. It's really tough to watch an 0-4 team and be like, oh, yeah, they should be favorites over anyone. One thing I will say about the New York Giants, you lose Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
But let me pull up the stat. I think I have the stat saved here. Because we talked a lot this offseason. One of the reasons I liked the Giants is, maybe you get your young quarterback going, but that defensive front was something that should be a menace, right? And it finally became a menace in week 4.
Against the Chargers, it was.
And against the Chargers, who are a really good football team. Now, the Chargers, we'll talk about them in a second, and they lost their another offensive tackle, which is not great. The Giants recorded
was great. Yeah.
Here we go. The Giants recorded a pass rush win rate of 68% on Sunday against the Chargers. It's their highest pass rush win rate in a game since the metric was introduced in 2017. So there you go. You started to see that front really take over, and a lot of people pointed to Herbert. Like, Herbert's overrated. He's not very good. It's like, man, there was drops. He was getting hit. He was getting pressured. The Giants defense showed up, and that's not going to be good for Rattler in this game if they continue that. And it's kind of what we thought we'd see from the beginning of the year.
1,000%. So again, I'll definitely take points. And what could be a more fun game than you think?
Absolutely. We got Cowboys Jets. We talked about those Chargers who are hosting the Commanders in a pretty good one. Monday nighter with the Chiefs and Jags, and more picks for week 5 next.
I'm Cody Rourke from Locked On Broncos, and this episode is brought to you by Peloton. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. This is Peloton's most advanced equipment yet, giving you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or you're cross-training with your favorite instructors like Alex Toussaint. It's training reimagined to make your workout more personal. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with features that help you plan, stay motivated, and hit peak performance. You can let yourself run, lift, flex, and go while Peloton handles all the rest. Plus, Peloton IQ provides real-time strength coaching, tracking your progress and suggesting weights that challenge you so you can get stronger. Plus, the new movement tracking camera, it counts your reps and corrects your form in real time, making sure every rep is safer and smarter. So let yourself run, lift, flex, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
All right, here we go. Let's finish up previewing this Week 5 slate of games, and we've got Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys on the road at the 0-4 New York Jets. The 1-2-1 Dallas Cowboys, they're favored by 2.5 points on the road.
Yeah, and I I'm going to bring this up over and over, that I really think Dallas is just shootout central. Their defense is as bad as their offense is good. Dak's playing great. And I just think there's points. But I don't think that's how the Jets play football. I don't think the Jets want to get in a shootout or can handle a shootout. Now, I do think Sauce Gardner will do good things against Pickens, but I'm going to bet on Dak to outscore them here and put up a lot of points.
It's really cool watching George Pickens, and that Pickens matchup with Sauce Gardner is an interesting one. And will that be enough to really kind of skew things with a lack of CeeDee Lamb? CeeDee Lamb's still out, right?
Yeah, for a little while now. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I thought he would be. The teams are being really coy about all this stuff. Lamar Jackson's like, he's gonna be out for 3 weeks, but it's like, he's not out yet. You got to prepare for Lamar Jackson. It's like, yeah, he's not playing. Come on. The George Pickens thing, because obviously you saw him up close in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
He's so good when he could be the number one, but he's such a weirdo too. It's like, what an interesting career. And I wonder what team is, if someone's going to pay him or how that career is going to go, because when he gets featured, like, he's just ridiculously good. Right. And how good he could be if his head was screwed on a little tighter, and will he continue to mature in that way and just become like a true stud, because him with CeeDee Lamb is a really nice combo for Dak Prescott, even if they're a little light on the defense side of the ball.
I will say he has gotten better every year he's been in the league. I'll tell you what, he's a weirdo, but he has gotten better at his craft each season, the small little things. He came in the league just like as a go ball guy. There's a lot more.
It was just like chuck it up to him. Right. Yeah. Showing a little more. It was really cool to see him be like, okay, sure. No CD. Cool. I'm number one. Let's go. And he handled it. That said, 2.5 points. I like the Cowboys here. I'm going to give up those 2.5 points. We have the Dolphins at the Panthers. This is a battle for a top pick in this NFL draft. Can I bring up something that's not as involved in this game?
Yeah.
1-3 Dolphins at 1-3 Panthers. Miami on the road favored by 1.5. I wasn't sure that we're going to see a lot of Dolphins favored games on the schedule, especially early this season on the road with the way things started. There was a podcast that tweeted out this long message. I'm not going to, I don't know, any of these guys never watched this podcast, called Meow Mix. It's a Carolina Panthers podcast.
Okay.
And it basically is these podcasters. I don't know if this is a big podcast or not, but this tweet's doing its rounds. And it's like, man, this is how rough it is for the Carolina Panthers and Carolina Panthers fans. Basically, there was this long statement they made about their podcast. They're like, this team is awful, and I can't spend this much time on a Sunday away from my family to cover this team. It's not worth it. It's how bad this team is. So we're going to stop doing this entire podcast because the team is so bad and it's not worth it. Maybe if they were winning and it was a fun team to watch, I could talk my wife and child into not seeing me for 7 hours on a Sunday. But right now, it's not worth it. And so it was pretty
There's
interesting.
Not many people that quit our line of work because they hate it. Usually it's like, I can't make any money doing this, or nobody cares what to say. And, like, not like I hate watching this team. I'm just going to quit.
So that's where the Carolina Panthers are right now. People are just not covering the team anymore because
I give up. I'm done.
So awful. They had a nice win, as the Dolphins did last week, and then have looked really bad in 3 weeks, as the Dolphins have. So, like, do you just take the points then? It's a home dog. It's only 1.5 points, but the Dolphins played better more recently, and they look like they might have been on track.
Yeah,
even without Tyreek.
That's why I'm going to take Miami. But this screams just take the points game, garbage game, take the points. I think this is a Bryce Young gets benched type of game. And I still think Miami with Waller and Malik Washington and Waddle and Achane has enough firepower and good weather to put up points,
It looked like they were kind of figuring things out, and I think they
are
a talented team still than the Panthers. So I'm with you. I'm going to take the Dolphins, give up those 1.5 points. We've got the Commanders and Chargers. I teased it a little bit earlier. The 3-1 Chargers are hosting the 2-2 Commanders, and those Chargers at home favored by 3.5 points here.
Daniels is back. Alt is out. That's enough for me to take points. And LA to me never screams great home field advantage. We even saw some of that last night for a team that they like more than the Chargers. I just wish the Commanders edge rushers were a little better, more like the Giants ones to take advantage of this banged up Chargers O-line. But I'm going to take Washington.
I mean, we saw how beat up that line was and how rough it was for Herbert. I think this is one of those where you have to take the points. I'm with you on that. We're agreeing a lot more this week, Matt.
A little bit, yeah.
Patriots Bills. This is the Sunday nighter. The Pats at 2-2 now, and take the mic if you want, because your boy Drake May is starting to play some pretty good football here for the New England Patriots. But they're at the 4-0 big bad Buffalo Bills in Week 5, primetime Sunday Night Football. Buffalo favored by 8.5.
Too big a line. I'm not saying the Patriots are great. I thought they were overrated in terms of like preseason over-under win totals. But I think May has been tremendous. I thought Diggs really stepped up this past week. And I don't think people talk about the Bills' defense being as bad as it is nearly enough. I mean, they allow a lot of points. So I think Mays is going to keep chucking, and keep it within a touchdown, touchdown-ish.
The Bills are interesting because they had kind of a similar mentality offensively and defensively, where it's just like, well, look, we're going to try to beat you up for an hour, and we have a Superman at quarterback, and that's going to be enough. We're playing physical, but they don't necessarily have the best offensive line. They don't necessarily have the best defense, but they just try to beat you up and keep that part of it close and play physical and play violent, and then their quarterback do the rest.
They're running the ball a ton.
Right. Yeah. And actually, they've talked about how maybe you need to kind of pull back on Cook a little bit and give some other people the football so he's available for you in January. Right. And so there's some talk about that. So I don't know if that'll actually happen when the real bullets start flying here for the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are a better football team. 8.5 points. I think it's another, just like the primetime game we saw on Thursday night. Familiar division opponents. I think the Patriots are at least up to the challenge to keep this close. I do like Buffalo. 8.5 is too much. If it was 6.5, I might go Buffalo. So I'm going to take the points and the New England Patriots here, much like my thought process for the Thursday nighter.
I get it.
Monday nighter, we've got the Kansas City Chiefs at 2-2, a huge win last week for the Chiefs over the Baltimore Ravens. And now they've got the 3-1 Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville. KC on the road, favored by 3.5.
I think KC's turned the corner. I mean, I think their team speed is a lot better with Worthy out there. I think they could get the rookie running back a little bit more involved, take less off Kelsey's plate. I think the O-line's coming around. I'm a Jags fan, though. Their O-line's playing great. They're running the ball really well. I think their defense has been quite good, but they haven't played a real difficult slate of offenses. I'm really looking forward to this game. I think we're going to learn a lot about these teams. I'd love to see more Hunter, but I think the Chiefs are starting to awake from their slumber.
Could be a huge statement for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they're trying to, they're trying to walk and act and talk like they're not the same old Jaguars, as witnessed by the on-field shouting match after the 49ers game last week. Are they that team? I don't know. This is a good challenge with the Kansas City Chiefs, and on Monday night they can prove that, and they've, I think, done a good job, and there's a 100% chance now seeing this team and seeing how they roll, that line, that 3.5 underdog line for them at home is bulletin board material everywhere, and they're going to play with a chip on their shoulder in this game against the Kansas City Chiefs. The defense has been so opportunistic, and they've been really good at taking the football away too, and if they can continue to do that, then they're going to win this game. Home underdog 3.5. I think I'm going to take the points in the Jaguars, and I think it could be a really good game. It could go either way, so that means I'm taking the points with the home team.
Yeah, I mean, these organizations are just so different. Jacksonville hasn't had a ton of success. The Chiefs go to the Super Bowl every year. This is kind of a Super Bowl Monday night type matchup for an organization like Jacksonville. They don't host a lot of these games, against Mahomes and maybe Taylor Swift's there. You get the Chiefs prime time at home in your building, Monday Night Football. That doesn't happen a lot for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So an opportunity to make a statement in front of everybody, or you come out of this and on Tuesday morning we're like, well, it's the same old Jaguars. They're just not ready for prime time. Last thing I want to talk about is are they botching the Travis Hunter thing? Because to me, I don't know.
He's not valuable enough on either side of the ball right now. Just pick one at this point, because he's getting like 3 targets on offense and kind of playing some defense. I certainly don't feel the impact of a player who was not only a top 5 pick, but you traded up to go get him. So as far as the plan, is it the right plan? Is he just not as impactful of a player so far this year? And I know we're running out of time, and we can talk maybe more about this.
Yeah.
Just I'm not sure they're getting it right with him right now.
I know. I actually did a little bit of homework on this the last few days, coincidentally, and I didn't realize that this is one of the most complex defenses and one of the most complex offenses in the entire league. So it's way more mentally than I thought on his plate. And if you watch him on offense too, he's always the player running like full speed pre-snap motion and then a go route. Like, he looks tired to me. Like, they're not conserving his energy well.
Yeah, and a lack of big plays. You haven't really seen the athleticism show up. You haven't seen, like, that moment where you're like, I called it the Heisman moment when the 49ers were playing the Jaguars. And you haven't seen the Heisman moment from him. It's like just not even a big play. Not a, they lead league in interceptions. Does he have any of them? I don't think he does.
I don't think.
On offense, he kind of catches the ball and gets tackled, and that's
he's still not a developed route runner. And it's
he's got such great ball skills. You see that big play down the field, see that big catch and run, watch his athleticism with the ball in his hands. Haven't seen any of that yet. And so maybe that's to come. And you're right. It's hard for a rookie on one side of the ball in the NFL. For a rookie on both sides of the ball can be very difficult. So maybe you just have to wait and see that development happen for him in the second half of the season. But right now, a little strange. It is a little strange, a little disappointing, a little concerning. I have one thing that's going to blow your doors off and send everyone into the Sunday morning game here, and then we'll get out of here. How about this? So on Sunday, Dylan Gabriel will be the 10th starting quarterback for the Browns since Baker Mayfield. Wow.
10.
What year was his last start? 2022?
Right before Watson. He's gone on to be pretty good.
Watson was 2021.
10.
So 10, yeah.
You could have just stuck with him.
And there's going to be another one this year, most likely.
I bet it gets to 11 or 12, right? Yeah.
There you go. Good nugget there. As we head toward Week 5 NFL Sunday, get those mailbag questions in for us next week while you're watching football. If something comes up and pops in your mind, at BD Peacock, at Williamson NFL. Drop a question or a comment on YouTube. Subscribe while you're there. And Matt and I back Monday to break it all down right here. Peacock and Williamson.